Welcome back to LGBT Crime Files, the channel where we dive deep into the crimes that impact our community. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a case. And of course, feel free to leave a comment with your thoughts. We love hearing from you. I started this journey with a simple obsession. I was hooked on crime documentaries, investigative journalism, and true crime podcasts. But the more I watched, the more I realized how often our LGBTQ+ community is targeted. It's an eye-opener, and I knew I had to do something. That's why this channel exists, to raise awareness, demand justice, and remember the victims. Today, we're talking about a case that shook the LGBTQ community: the tragic murder of O'Shea Sibley. This was more than just a senseless act of violence, it was a hate crime, and the details of this case are both heartbreaking and enraging. So, grab a seat, stay tuned, and let's get into it. O'Shea Sibley was 28 years old, a talented professional dancer who lived for the art of movement. He wasn't just passionate about dance, he was a vibrant, fearless advocate for self-expression. Born in Philadelphia, O'Shea later moved to New York to pursue his dreams in the dance world. He trained in multiple styles, but his heart belonged to voguing, a dance form that originated in Black and Latino LGBTQ ballroom culture. His friends described him as charismatic, full of energy, and unapologetically himself. He wasn't just a performer, he was an activist, using his art to celebrate queer joy and defy societal norms. He danced in the streets, in clubs, at pride events, anywhere he could express himself freely. O'Shea grew up in a loving family that encouraged him to be himself. From a young age, he had an innate sense of rhythm, often putting on performances for his family and friends. As he got older, he became more involved in the ballroom scene, a space that not only nurtured his talent but also gave him a sense of belonging. The ballroom community, historically a refuge for Black and brown queer individuals, became his second home. Here, he thrived. His performances were electric, and he gained recognition as a fierce voguer and a beloved member of the scene. Outside of dance, O'Shea was a deeply compassionate person. Friends recall that he was always the first to check in, to offer words of encouragement, and to stand up against injustice. He worked with LGBTQ+ youth, mentoring young dancers and helping them build confidence both on and off the stage. He believed in the power of art to inspire change, and he saw dance as a way to spread messages of love, resistance, and freedom. His dream was to one day choreograph for major productions, bringing the beauty of Vogue and ballroom to the world stage. Sadly, that dream was stolen from him in an act of senseless hate. That night, O'Shea was at a Brooklyn gas station with his friends. They had been out celebrating, enjoying a warm summer night filled with music, laughter, and freedom. As they stopped to refuel the car, their energy was infectious. They turned the mundane act of waiting into a dance session, voguing to the beat of a song playing from their car speakers. But that joy was soon interrupted. A group of young men nearby began to take notice, their expressions shifting from curiosity to hostility. Witnesses say the group became visibly uncomfortable, muttering among themselves before one of them began shouting slurs. "Stop that gay," one of them reportedly yelled. Others in the group laughed, egging each other on. O'Shea and his friends, used to facing discrimination but never backing down, responded in kind. They defended themselves, asserting their right to exist freely in public. But the situation grew more tense. What started as verbal harassment quickly escalated into a confrontation, with both groups exchanging words. Then, in an instant, the aggression turned violent. One of the men, a 17-year-old male, stepped forward, brandishing a knife. The tension peaked. O'Shea, ever the brave and defiant spirit, refused to cower. But before anyone could react, the suspect lunged at him, driving the blade into his chest. The scene turned into chaos. O'Shea stumbled, clutching his wound, his breath short and shallow. His friends screamed for help, rushing to his side as blood pooled on the concrete. The suspects fled, leaving O'Shea gasping for air, his once vibrant energy fading. Bystanders dialed 911, but it was too late. Paramedics arrived quickly and transported him to the hospital, but the damage was too severe. Within minutes of arriving, O'Shea Sibley was pronounced dead. The suspect, a 17-year-old male, whose identity was initially withheld due to his age. Authorities later confirmed that the attack was motivated by homophobia, a clear-cut hate crime. The suspect, a high school student, came from a conservative background. His family, originally from a religious and culturally traditional community, had reportedly instilled strict views on gender roles and sexuality. Interviews with acquaintances suggest that he had previously expressed disdain for LGBTQ+ individuals, often making derogatory comments in conversations. However, there was little indication that he would resort to violence. Friends described him as someone who was easily influenced by peer pressure, often trying to fit in with stronger personalities in his social circle. Some reports suggest that the verbal altercation at the gas station escalated because the suspect felt the need to prove himself to his group. Unfortunately, his attempt to assert dominance ended in an irreversible act of hatred and violence. The attacker was charged with second-degree murder as a hate crime and criminal possession of a weapon. His defense team tried to argue that it was a case of self-defense, but the overwhelming evidence, including security footage from the gas station, contradicted that claim. As of now, court proceedings are ongoing, with activists and members of the LGBTQ+ community demanding the harshest punishment possible. O'Shea's death sparked outrage, leading to protests, vigils, and renewed conversations about the safety of LGBTQ individuals in public spaces. O'Shea's death didn't just leave a void in the dance community, it became a rallying cry for justice and change. His tragic murder sparked nationwide protests and vigils, with thousands of people gathering in his honor, demanding action against rising hate crimes targeting LGBTQ individuals. His friends, fellow dancers, and activists refused to let his story be forgotten. In the wake of his passing, several organizations and advocacy groups stepped up to preserve his legacy and continue his fight for justice. The house ballroom community, which played a vital role in O'Shea's life, organized tribute events, performances, and fundraisers to support queer youth and LGBTQ rights. The Ali Forney Center, a nonprofit dedicated to helping homeless LGBTQ+ youth, launched an initiative in O'Shea's name to provide housing and resources for young queer individuals facing discrimination and violence. They emphasized the importance of safe spaces where queer people can express themselves freely, just like O'Shea did through dance. The Leslie Lohman Museum of Art, which showcases queer artistry, also paid tribute to O'Shea by featuring his dance work and highlighting the intersection of performance art and activism. They aim to ensure that LGBTQ artists, particularly those from marginalized communities, continue to have a platform. In addition, the Marsha P. Johnson Institute, an organization that fights for Black, transgender, and queer people's rights, launched a campaign to push for stronger hate crime laws and greater protections for LGBTQ+ individuals in public spaces. His community also came together to establish the O'Shea Sibley Dance and Arts Fund, which provides scholarships to young LGBTQ dancers who aspire to follow in his footsteps. This fund ensures that his passion for dance lives on, inspiring future generations to embrace their artistry without fear. O'Shea Sibley was more than a dancer, he was a beacon of resilience, joy, and unapologetic self-expression. His tragic murder is a painful reminder of the work that still needs to be done to protect LGBTQ+ lives. But his legacy will not be forgotten. Through activism, art, and the organizations that now carry his name forward, O'Shea's impact will continue to inspire change. Thank you for watching today's episode of LGBT Crime Files. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's continue to raise awareness and demand justice for victims like O'Shea. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.